All right. Shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kodash. A double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the one third man with the children in that order. This is Shemaiah Allah with the great millstone chapter out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I came across this video, and it's been videos like this and podcasts like this where you see a lot of men who are challenging and going against the westernized way of life. I mean, so many words. Esau Edom's philosophies and ways of life. You know what I'm saying? And challenging, these wicked ways and in which the people are subscribing to Esau Edom, and just the backwardness in living, that which is uh contrary to the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai. And just like watching this video and thinking about all the strongholds that Yahweh Shem Shai has broken down through the power and spirit, through his power and spirit. It just got me thinking. It's like, I started to dissect it. And it's quite fitting into the times that we are in which these strongholds are being torn down. These false prophets, such as Creflo Dollar and the rest of these demons who are using the Bible and religion as a tool to make money, filthy lucre's sake. It just, in so many words, just really use the people and trap and confuse and lead people into just minds that are lost and gone. And these people, they preach this prosperity doctrine, and people fall in love with that because everyone's looking for a way out of their hell. Not realizing that, hey man, turn back to your Yahweh Shem Shai. The reason why we are going through the hell that we go through. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video and just listen to what he says is dealing with Creflo Dollar, and just think about how everyone is being affected by the truth. And I'm willing to bet that this guy, through the spirit, has watched a brother at GMS, or brothers that are speaking the truth, that's pertaining to these sort of things, especially dealing with the women, and how these pastors, they cater to the woman. They know that most of the women are the ones who are paying the tithes and helping fatten their pockets, you know. But if you listen to them, you can tell, like, this truth is really bothering the strongholds in this westernized society, especially dealing with guys like Creflo Dollar, who solely capitalizes on that, you know. And so by the truth, it just shows that these pastors are false prophets, and that they are really enemies of Yahweh Shem Shai. But without further ado, I'm going to play the video.
Low Dollar just very recently called out Kevin Samuels and in a sermon titled, and I want to get this up just so you guys know for sure. The title of the sermon, you can search it on YouTube, is "The Behavior and Character of the Last Day." And at about around the hour and 5 minute mark, he goes on to talk about false prophets. And in him talking about false prophets, he mentions Kevin Samuels and pretty much says to his audience that, to the women in his audience, that if they're listening to Kevin Samuels, you're being led astray by a false prophet. Now, for anybody who knows my content, you would know that I don't 100% agree with everything Kevin Samuels. Now, his core message and core values, especially as it pertains to dating and relationships, we completely agree. Now, I don't agree with everything. Again, with that being said, I think that Kevin Samuels, since he's moved into the mainstream and has been trying to move into the mainstream, has had to work on his entertainment value of his shows, right? And with that being done, people take those small clips that are meant to be entertaining and they blast it out into the internet. And what happens is you get a lot of people that form an opinion on Kevin Samuels' message without actually watching a full live stream. Because if you watch a full live stream of Kevin Samuels, it'd be pretty hard to come out of there and say that that man doesn't want what's best for the women that that he was talking to. Now you could say that he's rude, just like Simon, right? Just like Gordon Ramsay, right? You could say he's rude. That's fair. That's fine. But at the end of the day, does his message hold value? Is what we're looking at. A lot of people try to attack his character instead of attacking his message and his actual points in his videos. But just kind of backpedaling here, Creflo Dollar is worth $27 million. Okay? Creflo Dollar in 2015 asked for his ministry to help him to raise money for a $65 million private jet, one of the most luxury of that time period. Creflo Dollar walks around in tailored suits, yet he's saying that somebody like Kevin Samuels, who's never talked about perfection, never said he's perfect, never claimed to be the word of God, right? But Creflo, whatever happened to, and I really want to ask this, whatever happened to, it's harder for a camel to pass through the head of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven. Like, whatever happened to that verse? Because we want to talk about false prophets and try to virtue signal as though your tailored suit, right? As if Jesus wore a tailored suit. A lot of people will do this, and I see this happen often. A lot of people would use church as a way to avoid accountability. And what do I mean by this? Some people, instead of actually working on their character flaws, they put themselves on a pedestal because they relate themselves with a religion. And a lot of times, folks ain't even going to church. And if they do, they was at the club on Sunday, right along with all the people that they call sinners. But because they have that church as a scapegoat, they go to church on Sunday and they say, hey, I'm forgiven for everything or whatever. And they never actually work on themselves. The church for far too long, because at the beginning it did have some benefits for African Americans, right? But the black church in 2021, all it's doing is taking women that have been around the block, maybe got one or two kids, taking men that have made mistakes in the past, putting them together, and creating stepfathers.
Let's pause that right quick. Um, this is Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, and it reads, it says, this know also that in the last days times shall come, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to the parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high minded, lovers of pleasures, more than lovers of, of God, of the power, Salakia, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which crept into houses, here's the point, and led captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. And that's what Creflo Dollar is doing, you know? And that's the reason why he caters to, and you're gonna hear the man say it in the video, but he caters to women because they are the ones who are fattening, the ones that are mostly fattening his pockets and faithfully come to his church. Now, with this truth being put out, a lot of it has exposed the blasphemy that the modern day churches uh, put out, you know, and exposes guys like Creflo Dollar to be liars. It says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Yeah, They, and even in these sermons, man, that they be giving, they don't even go into the scriptures. They don't break down anything. They don't even understand what they're reading. They're going off of what their little seminary has taught them to say, and they are all under 501(c), so there's a gag order on what can be talked about, and so there's no truth in these churches, you know. And the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai has exposed so much that it's spewing out into other areas where you got guys like this, Poor Man Podcast, Kevin Samuels, you got the Fresh and Fit Podcast, and all these podcasts in which you have men who are fed up with this westernized society, westernized culture of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, uh, who has who has put together this lifestyle which is conducive to the ways and laws and laws and the ways of the statute, the laws and statutes, commandments of the Yahweh Shema Shah Salaki, you know, and it's really made it hard on Jake in his world to be able to exist because it goes against the nature of things.
Right? And a lot of black men are becoming hip to that. A lot of black men are checking out of the black church. Now, that does not mean that they don't have a relationship with God. And this is not like a religious episode or whatever. But I am going to touch on this brief. That does not mean that they don't have a relationship with God. Right? The Bible says that you are the temple. Right? The person is the temple. The person is the church. The person is the place of worship. He doesn't have to go to a church. Right? And with that being said, a lot of black men have taken that step and are practicing their own relationship with God. They're sick of listening to some other guy who wants to have sex with their wife potentially and wants money. They're tired. They're just tired of hearing that narrative, right? But unfortunately, what that leaves behind is a lot of black women that look around and they don't see any men around them, right? And the only people that are upholding this, that are allowing people like Mr. Creflo Dollar to acquire $27 million are black women. So who is he going to pander to? Always follow the money in these situations. Who is he going to pander to if the only people in church are black women? You think he's going to want to tell black women to stop wearing weaves and wigs because God said that you shouldn't do that? You think he's going to tell them like in 1 Timothy when it tells women to dress modest? Do you think that that's something that he's going to bring up if
Hell
he's trying
no.
not to upset the people who are giving him $27 million?
Exactly. Hell no.
Of course not. Right? A person like Kevin Samuels is dangerous for an industry like the black church in 2021.
All to me, the prophets, and quite fitting, the prophets at Great Millstone started with Apostle to on down are dangerous to this society and to the so-called black church and all these sects out here, because at the end of the day, the spirit, the power of Yahweh Shema Shai is flowing through the brothers to bring out the truth that's breaking down the strongholds of this society. And one of the strongholds is the modern day church that lies to the people and keeps us in the darkness that a lot of us are coming out of right now, you know. So at the end of the day, you got, hey man, our Father, and I just wanted to briefly touch on this, but it just shows you how the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai is working to really unravel this westernized world. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna cut it short and keep it moving. I am at work right now. Just wanted to bring this out. I haven't watched this video the other day, and just told me, hey man, touch on it. You know, touch on it, make it be edifying for the people, and that's what I'm doing. But it just shows you the time that we are in the fall of Esau Edom in his kingdom, because everything must fall, all his ways and philosophies. All that wine that everyone's been drunken on, that been drinking on, Salakia. So with that being said, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and them honors to our apostles and elders and great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the one-third million and the children that order. Again, this is Shemar Allah with the great millstone, chapter out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Until next time, Shalom.